Hello, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Ascent. And today I'm debating on whether or not to launch a special rocket going into orbit of Kerbin or a space plane, actually a probe that not a probe, but a rover that I built. But let me kind of show you what is going on here. Now, the Kerbals have built a lab that will go in orbit of Kerbin. Now, once in orbit of Kerbin, we're going to do some science, and it doesn't get a whole lot of science because you're close to Kerbin. The further you are away from Kerbin, the more data points that you'll get, science points you'll earn. Inside this lab, let's take a look. I've got a mobile processing lab sitting on the top of a rocket that has 3,476 meters per second. The thrust to weight ratio is 1.3. Here's the lab. It's got a couple of experiments here. It's got some RCS to do some minimal burns, thrusts. I've got some batteries on here. There are a lot more batteries inside here. I think there is 6. I do have a connecting node here. What do you call that? Port. Clampetron docking port, the small one, Junior. And we'll blow the lid off of this once we get up into higher atmosphere. Got the big RCA, or the controller here. Where was that one? Forget where that was. Control? Yeah. It's called an advanced inline stabilizer. Let's see. Yeah, reaction wheel. Thrust, batteries, antenna, lights. On the pad, while it is sitting on the pad, I can run a couple of experiments from the pad and transfer that data up into the lab. I'll also put this here so that if Kerbals bring science to here, they can put it in here and then transfer it up to the lab. So this will be sitting on the pad for a while. Now, I haven't tested this rocket. It does have the delta V to get into orbit. I just don't know that it will. Don't know how it'll fly, but you can see how the experiments here would work. I didn't check to see if I had anybody in it, and I probably don't. Yep, nobody in there. So we are going to recover, well, not recover it, but revert back. So if that was sitting on the pad, we could go over to our spaceplane hangar. Let's leave out of here and go to the spaceplane hangar to look at the rover that I have used it to get into the to give me about 7. I think I needed 7 science points. So it's basically kind of like the same one we had. I have turned it around, and maybe it'll fly right this time. Let's give it a try. Let's put it on the spaceplane hangar, or out of the spaceplane hangar. Oh, who's the pilot? Jebediah's pilot. Okay, it's got a little bit of battery charge on it. It can roll along. It can turn using these back wheels here. It will take a while though. And we're probably losing some battery charge while I'm holding this on. We can probably put some more solar panels on there. And you can see it's going to take some time to drive over to the VAB, to the spaceplane hangar, to the offices. that administration building, to the flagpole. Okay, let's keep her rolling, keep her rolling, keep her rolling. Okay, so far so good. I did use this, it did not flip out on me. There we go, we're down. But I am using a lot of battery to get these wheels to push this weight. Let's see if we have any data. Okay, we've got a little bit. We're gonna, well, we can see we can hold on to that. Log the temperature, don't have it, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep that. I'll keep that. Keeping a crew report from KSC. We're about, I don't know, a little bit through. I just realized I won't have enough thrust. But anyway, okay, we're going to stop it right here because that's basically what we're doing. EVA, get a surface sample, and get an EVA report. And we're holding on to all of that because, go ahead, board. Once we take this over to the launch pad, the Kerbal can get out, collect all the data, walk it up to the rocket. Let's go ahead and recover. Walk it up to the rocket and put it in the storage container. Put all of his science data in the storage container. Oh, we got a little bit of science. That unit costs $7,000, by the way. And then this will be sitting on the pad. Let's see who's in it. Okay, we need a scientist, definitely, and a pilot. Let's use, went and got the other pilots and engineers. There was no scientist. So we may have to, let's do Shelbert. Just put an engineer in there with the scientist. We do have control so we can fly it. Let's launch this just as a test. We will not save it. We can always use the, we can always rendezvous. We can always rendezvous with it. Let's go ahead and take some of this science with us then. Let's have a Kerbal jump out and do an EVA while on the pad. Oh, and a surface sample. Okay. We're going to hold on to it. Oh, what's the EVA report? Hold on to it. Take a surface sample. Got a little bit from there. Get back in. Run this test. We can see here we can add to the laboratory. We are going to, it's going to give us one data. One data equals 5 science. Time with one data, 148 days. Maybe it's really low because we're so close, but let's do a goo. Do a goo, we're going to put, it says 0, inoperable after transmitting, inoperable after transmitting. Yeah, that's fine. Get the temperature, that says 0 as well. Does it say 0 because we've got all of the data? We can't spam these things anymore? Or should we get it first and then load it? And then come back and get it, bring it back to KSC. Anyway, I don't know. But if there was any science data in here, here's the container. They can drive up here, put the data into here. It says collect all. What it did, so it moved it all to there. Now review it. We're going to put it back in to study. We're going to put it back in. So there was no other data there. But let's launch this baby, and just as a test, we are not going to leave it in space. I've got some fins on it. The fins do nothing but help stabilize. They don't guide. No guidance. So we're going to go for a 90-degree orbit in 3, 2, 1. KerbLab 1. Test. Guess I could use stability control here. That would help. It says it had 300 and some delta V. We're going to try to keep it a somewhat 90-degree orbit here. It does seem to be turning on its own. I'm just using pitch, yaw, and roll here. There we go. Get it back up there toward 90. Still kind of slow, 200 meters per second. Oh no, here it goes. Right through the atmosphere. There we go. Oh, it is really heavy now. There we go, throw it back into full power, full thrust. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're definitely going to need some, because it gets lighter every time. Still going at 90. Yeah, we're not getting into space on this one, I don't get. Yeah, it's just not wanting to. Those fins just do not do it justice. They're not helping. Yep, we've lost it, lost it, lost it. So heavy on the bottom there. Just catching the wind. We may have to go fins again. We may have to go with better fins. Almost out of fuel on this. Let's see how high we got. 27. Oh my lord. It's kind of growing now, but we're going to need a better ascent profile. We're in the 27s now. And we're almost out of fuel. Let's, yeah, that's okay. Ooh, getting hot. Getting hot, getting hot. Okay, we're out of fuel. Let's go ahead and break this off. And we will jettison the nose cone there. Point a little retrograde, turn on RCS. Oh, I forget. H and N. So we're at 124. There's no way this RCS, of course, can get us into an orbit. Let's go back to map. Docking mode. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Make sure we're flying from here. Control point. Yeah, now shift and control goes forward and back. That rotates. I'm not using the H and N keys at the moment. I'm just using. Turn off this. Trying to figure this out. This would be the front. Oh. Control from here? Not really. Don't really want to control from there, but SAS on. Lights work. Okay, yep, lights would work. Can they take any data from up here? We're still climbing. Oh, yes. So see, we could put some more data in there and then get the lab to start research. Now let's check our batteries while that's going on. We are looking at the sun with these, I guess. Using the control wheel here. Okay, we're still using electricity. At one point, I know this is a lot of. We're not even getting 0.08 per day. 0.08 because we have 12 data. Once we fill this up, oh, let's do this one. Blood pressure, 75. Put that in there. Now let's see what we're doing. We're doing 0.18. Let's do a crew report. Can't do a crew report because it's not a crew vessel. Let's do EVA real quick. We'll save it, get back in, and look at the data. We'll review it, and it's worth 50. Even though we've already got it, send it back to Kerbin over the airwaves. So we've got some more data. We're at 0.2. So, oh, we're falling now. Okay. Falling now. Yeah, okay. So, let's go ahead and revert back. We kind of know what's going on. We're using too much electrical charge, I guess. Are you not? Yeah, start research. Yeah, we're using a lot of electricity. Looks like 3. And then, of course, we can dock with bigger batteries if we ever need to. Let's go ahead and revert back to the vehicle assembly building. So that's kind of where I'm at. I am loading up on, I will be loading up on science experiments that will drive over to this container. Launch, put the container, transfer the contents of the container into the ship, and I'll have to drive around to all of these biomes and get the data, store it in my command pod, then drive it over to the launch pad to load it up. So we may have a Kerbal sitting out here on the highway on the pad for a while. And we've got 889,000, almost 890,000. What does it take for this? Yeah, 845. Now the rocket itself, I think, was 37. I may have added some more. 38. Okay, yeah, 38,000. We don't like these fins, so we'll definitely put some better control authority on there. I was using those 500 apiece. We can use these 640, and it might be better to just put them on the side. Like that. That way we have that lean into the 90-degree turn. Not sure how this will go. If not, will you slap some boosters on the side, get it boosted up into the upper atmosphere, then we'll rotate to the right. And let's try these fins here. Let's go ahead and save it. And let's try this. This is another test. Okay, we're ready in 3, 2, 1. Get up to about 100 and then turn like we always do. I don't think those fins are directly on the .90-degree angle, but they could be. It's wanting to lean left a little bit. It's not what I want. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Okay, I'm going to let go of the controls just for a little bit while we get through. I don't know why I wanted to turn this way. 200. I'm not touching any of the controls. I'll slow down just a bit. Keep it going with these fins. It's probably the fins that's making it go off course. Okay, we're going through the upper first atmosphere layer. And it's rotating, 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 and it's gone. Oh, it really went that time. Trying to get it back. Oh, this is just way heavy on top. Way heavy up here. It wants to point. It wants to flip over, and here we go. Up in the middle atmosphere there. Going full throttle. And wants to flip again. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the I don't know. Yeah, we're coming back down now. Let's go ahead and revert. So we've got a rocket that's really heavy on top, center of mass. Let's go to that. Let's do that. Probably because all of these are connected. Full. Full. Well, what's the rocket weigh? It weighs 44 tons. 44 tons. And most of the weight is down here. What about aerodynamics? That really doesn't do anything. That doesn't tell us anything where lift is. Of course, there would be the thrust. We could go 4 fins to see if that would help stabilize it. Let's try that. Four. There's the center of lift. Is that lift? Is that what they're? Is that what these fins were doing? Lifting? Should work. Let's try that. Oh, no, can't launch it just yet. Oh, we needed those things back. Let's load. Open. No, do not save. KerbLab 1. Take off these fins. Grab these fins and 4. We didn't do anything else. Okay, let's launch. Okay, test number 3 with the fins. Let's go full throttle, stabilize on, stability assist. And we'll do the same profile. We'll go up to about 100 and then turn to the right. Lean over. For 1,000 meters. Right, here we go. Comes the lean. Again, it's wanting to tilt. It could be because of these lights that are on board here. Still wanting to point down. It's wanting to flip out, basically. I'm going to try to keep it centered. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. Here we go. Yeah, that did not work. You can see how it's wanting to put its butt down towards the Kerbin, and it won't fly in that straight arc. Getting ready to go through this atmosphere now. Hmm. 32, 34. 50. Technically, we wanted to be up there higher. But okay, that gets us to 73. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We may have to go up higher and then tilt, but don't want to be going too fast, I don't guess, because then the flip out on us. Okay, we can go ahead and jettison this. Couple that. Use the control wheel to turn us slightly towards prograde. And we can't hold prograde yet. With a better command remote, we could start research. We don't have any data in there. Does it still process? No scientist. Oh no, did I not put? Oh, I didn't. I don't have any scientist in, so. Okay, we have 1,000 delta V with this, and I don't think 1,000 is going to get us into orbit. Yes, it probably will. So let's try orbit. Let's try orbit. Try to get us into orbit. We're at 73 here. It'll be a long burn. Push up just a bit to help us out. Almost out of delta V, then we could use SAS to, okay, we're out. Let's go ahead and break it. Use SAS or RCS to continue thrusting. Watching this grow just a little bit. We could actually wait until we get up to here, which is what we're going to do. Turn SAS off. Oh, how much SAS do I have? RCS, sorry. Monopropellant. Let's see if we could actually get this in orbit. At least we know we can dock to it. If we want to leave it up here, we can, but you know, my mission was to pick up the data and then bring it up. I guess it could still be done. We could rendezvous with this. Let's turn that off. RCS on. Nope. RCS on. Forward thrusting. We want to push this up to 70. Pushing it to 55. 62. 73. We are 78 here, 75 there. So a very good stable orbit for our KerbLab 1. There's no scientist on board, but we even made mistakes flying up here, so we'll have the delta V definitely to get it up here and not use as much SAS. SAS is there in case we need it. Not using any battery because we're not doing science experiments. Let's go ahead and revert back. But at least we know this rocket will, well, I don't know, that stability. As the fuel leaves this rocket, something isn't, you know, it's this, it's the RCS where it is, it's these things that are wanting to tilt to the left or right. Everything is symmetrical, everything. So I don't know really what's causing the lean. Maybe I'm going too fast trying to punch through. I don't know. We'll work on it though. We're going to leave it here. We have not launched this yet. I haven't got all the science data that I need. We should have saved that. I think I did. Yeah, we're going to go around and pick up all this data, leave it in a capsule out here somewhere, and then put it on board the spaceship, take it up into Low Kerbin Orbit. I hope you like this video. Give me some tips or tricks that you would use to do what I'm trying to do. And thanks for watching.